John Hennessey, a name already etched in the annals of the automotive industry, found himself in the eye of a media storm following a contentious encounter with a producer of the popular UK television series Top Gear. This incident, which took place in 2014, unfolded during the production of the episode entitled Rescuing Richard from Lone Wolf Mountain in the rugged terrain of Canada. The episode featured Jeremy Clarkson, a legendary and controversial figure in the world of automotive television, behind the wheel of a Hennessey Velociraptor, essentially a Ford Raptor, that had been given a significant performance boost by Hennessey's own company, Hennessey Performance. As the creator of the machine in question, Hennessey was naturally involved in the filming process. However, as is the case with numerous Top Gear episodes, the production wasn't without its challenges and subsequent high tensions. Hennessey was instructed from the outset to maintain a distance from the hosts, and was initially informed that he and his team weren't permitted to ascend the mountain during the filming. This directive created a palpable tension between Hennessey and the producers, and he even contemplated withdrawing his support if any technical issues arose throughout the shoot. Despite the initial friction, the producers eventually relented and allowed Hennessey and his team to participate more actively in the filming process. The episode was successfully shot without any major hitches, leading fans to believe that, at least this time, everything was fine on the set of Top Gear. However, it was in the weeks following the shoot that a notorious altercation between Jeremy Clarkson and the producer, Oisin Tymon, took place. This incident was by far one of the most defining moments of Top Gear, as it permanently changed the series by taking all three of its key personalities out of the equation. The incident, often referred to as Stakegate, saw Clarkson physically assault Oisin Tymon over being unable to order sirloin steak at a hotel in North Yorkshire, and led to Tymon needing hospital treatment. The BBC, which aired Top Gear, conducted an internal investigation and subsequently decided not to renew Clarkson's contract, effectively ending his tenure on the show. The repercussions of this incident were far-reaching, as Jeremy wasn't only the signature celebrity of the series, but also its creator, alongside Andy William. His departure from the show led to its co-presenters, Richard Hammond and James May, also going out the door. The trio had been the face of Top Gear for over a decade, and their departure marked the end of a glorious era, during which many millions of car enthusiasts all around the world got hooked on the content made unique through the exhilarating friendship and expertise of Clarkson, Hammond, and May. The show eventually continued with new presenters, but it understandably struggled to replicate the success that it had enjoyed under the Grand Three. Numerous fans felt that there was no longer a point in watching Top Gear, since the series virtually didn't exist without its signature faces. In spite of what some believed, the incident didn't mark the end of Clarkson's career in television, but in fact provided the means for a new beginning. Seeing an opportunity, Amazon's Jeff Bezos signed Clarkson, Hammond, and May for a new motoring show, The Grand Tour. The series premiered in November 2016, following a similar format to Top Gear, but with a larger budget and fewer restrictions. It immediately proved to be yet another one of Jeff Bezos' commercial successes, attracting millions of viewers worldwide and receiving positive reviews from critics. That said, the incident had a significant impact on Clarkson's public image. Known for his controversial and often divisive opinions, Jeremy was now also associated with physical violence. Despite the negative PR, his popularity didn't seem to wane significantly, as many fans followed him to the new series, and he continued to be a prominent figure in the world of motoring television. The incident also sparked a discussion about workplace behavior and the treatment of staff in the television industry. The BBC was criticized for its handling of the situation, with some arguing that Clarkson should have been dismissed immediately after the altercation. However, others praised the corporation for conducting a thorough investigation and ultimately holding Clarkson accountable for his actions. The vast majority, however, simply wanted to keep watching the Top Gear they knew and loved, but BBC had to please the Twitter and Instagram social justice warriors, ultimately opting for what equates to the rating suicide of the series. In a manner of speaking, BBC shot themselves in the foot and surrendered Top Gear to Jeff Bezos. The reason for the outrage was the fact that Oisin ended up actually requiring medical intervention, as his lip had been cut open by Clarkson's fists. On top of that, Jeremy called the producer a lazy Irish, which, in spite of not being such, could have easily been interpreted as a disparaging remark on the grounds of racial differences. And it immediately was. Suddenly, in the depths of liberal interwebs, Jeremy Clarkson was a violent, physically abusing racist who, using his position as the creator and of Caucasian origins, gave himself the right to treat someone without any semblance of humanity. This was far from the truth, but the pressure on BBC was too high. To top everything off, Tymon decided to take legal action against both Clarkson and the BBC, alleging racial discrimination and personal injury. The lawsuit sought damages believed to be in excess of £100,000, or $140,000. The Central London Employment Tribunal oversaw the proceedings, with both Tymon's lawyers and the BBC in attendance. It was eventually settled in February 2016, with Clarkson issuing a public apology to Tymon, thereby expressing remorse for the incident and its aftermath, as well as acknowledging that Oisin was not at fault. The settlement was believed to be for more than the initially sought amount, with both Clarkson and the BBC contributing towards it. In terms of the audience, the incident and its aftermath led to a shift in viewing habits for many fans of motoring television, notably an uncomfortable one. Those who had enjoyed Clarkson, Hammond, and May in Top Gear without any extra costs aside from the television bill now had to subscribe to Amazon Prime to watch the Grand Tour. This marked a significant move in the television industry, with a major show moving from a traditional free broadcaster to a streaming service. The skirmish between Clarkson and Tymon was the culmination of long working hours, high stress levels, and a disagreement over a very trivial matter. Jeremy Clarkson is not generally known for being a violent physical abuser, and has never had that intense of an incident before or since. It's thus unreasonable to conclude that the creator of Top Gear had to be fired by the BBC as someone who they couldn't work with anymore. Many fans have also pointed out the fact that Oisin should have simply acquiesced to Jeremy's request, since, as the main driver of the series that was providing Oisin his livelihood, Clarkson, after a very long day's work, deserved whatever he may have liked to eat. Compared to what the creator and co-host has to do on the set every day of filming, procuring a slab of meat isn't even worthy of being called a task. Of course, the media is in the dark about Oisin's activities that day, and it could well be that some force of nature found itself right between him and a sirloin steak. Regardless, most people agree that the incident could easily have been avoided through a number of means, and that its ultimate outcome is probably the worst thing that could have happened to both Top Gear and the BBC, while Clarkson and his two best friends will always have a place under most people's roofs. John Hennessey fully defended Jeremy in a no-holds-barred interview with Joe Rogan on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, divulging several key details that shed crucial light on what truly happened behind the closed doors of BBC production. Rogan, who is also a passionate vehicle collector, was the perfect host for Hennessey, given his love for handcrafted sports cars and high-performance trucks. His garage boasts numerous desirable examples, such as Gunther Werks' Porsche 911 and Hennessey's Velociraptor 600. The conversation eventually veered toward their past careers, with both sharing anecdotes and experiences from their respective journeys. Hennessey, who started his career modifying and tuning performance cars, talked about his road to becoming the CEO of a company known for its high-performance vehicles. Rogan, on the other hand, shared his experiences from his diverse career, which spans stand-up comedy, acting, and hosting television shows, in addition to his successful podcast. It was through this sharing of invaluable information that the two eventually touched on what happened that fateful month. He explained that the producer in question wasn't only brash with Clarkson, but that his dismissive and agitating behavior has always been a problem, making it only a matter of time before someone would get completely sick of the treatment. In John's case, It started during the filming of the aforementioned episode, when Oisin came off rather crude and controlling. First of all, he made sure to tell John not to spend too much time around the stars of the show, implying that his presence was so insignificant that it would endanger the ratings of the episode. He was subsequently told that he'd be unable to follow the crew to the mountain, even though they would be driving a vehicle that he produced. John was understandably annoyed at this point and told the producer that he was fine with not going, as long as he wouldn't be bothered about anything that could possibly go wrong with the vehicle. Realizing the risk of the potential predicament, Oisin finally changed his mind and requested that Hennessey accompany them after all. While most producers would feel fortunate for being able to cooperate with such significant names in the industry, Tymon showed a blatant disregard for John's grandiosity and boundless expertise, to the point of being brash enough to treat him as a random, unknown individual who'd only be a nuisance on the set. As a result, John told Rogan that he too would have punched Tymon had he been in Clarkson's situation. According to the negative personal history he had accumulated with the producer by that point, Hennessey was clear in stating that to him, Oisin wasn't a pleasant person to work with, which can greatly exacerbate the stress of a long day's work. However, it's crucial to underscore that no physical confrontation between Hennessey and the producer ever took place, making the only perceptible infraction on John's part the fact that he said he would have punched Oisin too. His admission only served to further bolster the idea that he was already rampant in social media, which is that Clarkson didn't do anything wrong and that the producer was to blame for everything. Being a significant departure from Hennessey's usual dealings, his willingness to physically harm someone sheds light on the pressures and tensions that can arise during the production of a highly acclaimed TV show, especially one like Top Gear, which had approximately 360 million concurrent viewers at the time of the incident. It would be an understatement to say that Oisin negatively impacted his career by having been insufferable towards Clarkson, as his time in the limelight since then has produced worse results than not having done a project at all. Immediately after the scandal, The Guardian reported that Tymon suffered significant backlash on social media, as millions upon millions of Clarkson's to-the-grave supporters took to their keyboards to bash both BBC and Tymon, outraged at the idea that their favorite series as they knew it was practically ending. Oisin may have enjoyed a decent sum from the subsequent court proceedings, but some would argue that no amount of money is enough to cover the anguish and embarrassment that his rudeness on the job eventually caused through the reaction of the masses. After the fiasco had died down, Tymon failed to find a place in the entertainment industry for over 4 years, after which he made the abysmal decision of supporting a project that was doomed from the get-go. Some have theorized that this was the only title he was able to work on, and so actually his only choice. In 2019, Oisin wrote, directed, and was the executive producer for the 10-episode reality TV series entitled The Great Travel Hack, which performed abysmally. Neither of its 2 seasons managed to garner a significant viewership, and its rating on IMDb is only 3.5 out of 10, with only 36 individuals having rated it by mid-2023. So, while Clarkson is busy earning millions and still shaping the automotive media world, Oisin seems to be kicking the dead horse that his entertainment industry career has turned into through his own fault. And that is how the story went.
Thank you for spending time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.